It seems you can do anything in American football short of using a Tommy gun, so you mustn't expect me to explain the rules.
The players wear so much clothing, it's a wonder they can move at all.
You had a guy that people said could not play quarterback in the NFL. And here he made the Hall of Fame.
Showtime. Warren Moon is putting on a clinic here today.
No one will ever understand how great this guy was.
I think the legend just grew.
Warren Moon threw as pretty a pass as you'll ever see.
We're bored, we're broke, and we're back. This is Any Given Wednesday, the NFL podcast where two overseas fans delve into the NFL's glorious past in an attempt to greater understand its fascinating present. So, whether you're still struggling to tell your NFC North from your AFC South, or you're someone who still remembers the glory days of the NFC Central Division, then this is the podcast for you. I'm Tom Parry, and if I'm the out-of-town fan attending his first game after grabbing a ticket off StubHub for 3 times the face value, then he is the dyed-in-the-wool season ticket holder with his own parking space at the tailgate. He's cracked open another case of beers and chucked another set of brats on the grill. He's Hollywood handsome. He's cowboy tough. It's Mr. Mike Bobbins.
Yes, Tom Parry. How are you, pal?
Bubs? Yeah, it's been a while, man. I've missed you.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, we've both been busy boys. Reese has been a busy boy as well, producer Reese.
Yeah.
But we're back. We're back. You know, like you said, we're like John Riggins and turning up the Jets training camp.
Love to see it.
Back in the day. I was going to get a mohawk haircut specially, but I've decided against it for continuity reasons.
Yeah, I can't believe your agent would be a big fan of that, actually, Bubs. It's right at the hit, when you finally hit peak fame, you decide to go full mohawk.
Yeah. I'm Graham Norton with a mohawk. What's the haircut? Oh, I was just talking to a mate of mine, Tom, about John Riggins in the Jets back in 1970. Probably funny. Is that real? Yeah, it's real.
And then at least, you know, mention the pod. Then at least try and get the pod mentioned on.
There's no such thing as bad publicity, pal. Which is obviously not true.
Yeah, no, that's not true.
For anybody who's had a conviction, they'll tell you otherwise.
Well,
go and tell Michael Barrymore there's no such thing as bad publicity. One for the American listeners there.
Who did he play for, Barrymore?
He played for the what did he play for? He played for the Hot Shots. And what is Hot Shot now? He played for the London Hot Shots in the 80s.
This week we're going to be looking...
like in North Dallas 40, there was a pool incident.
Oh God! Yeah, there was.
There was. You should watch that film. Have you seen that film?
No.
Oh my God, Tom!
Is it the one
we keep talking about Patreon? When we finally go with a Patreon extra, we should just do films. Sorry, I'm not like a one-sided discussion here, but I mean,
this my idea would be curtain, listeners, to how the podcast runs.
My idea would be that we would just do football films.
Yeah.
And I can't think of many better football films than Nick Nolte's North Dallas 40.
So, is this the book that's kind of based on the Dallas Cowboys of the
Peter Gent's book, which is the NFL. I'm not going to say too much now. I'll wait for the Patreon episode.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that's exactly what we'll do.
Yeah,
Nolte's good casting for that as well, isn't he? I've seen clips from it from when I was.
I've got lots of trivia. I love that film, and I'll tell you more trivia when we cover it because some stuff there is amazing.
Okay, great. Well, that'll be something for the patrons to look forward to when we get ourselves set up in the new year, I reckon.
Should we do that?
Yeah.
When should we do it?
Let's do it in the new year, kind of like the post season of this, you know, like we'll do it in January, Feb, I think. We'll get it set up.
Yeah, well, that's what I do on my Sunday Night Club, boys, is off season to sort of keep us together, keep us going until the next season. We have a Sunday Night Film Club.
There you go. Well, I think that's what we should do to keep our listeners going through the long, hard off season.
Are there that many football films? There's lots.
We'll find out, Pubs. We'll find out.
We've got North Dallas 40.
Yeah, great.
We got Any Given Wednesday.
There's only so many times we can go back to draft day, but
we've got 2 minute warning. 2-minute warning, draft day. Yeah.
What's the Will Smith one about the concussion protocol?
Rudy.
Rudy. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
There's loads. Brian's song. Yeah, we're fine.
It's a sport that lends itself to Hollywood as well, because I think, like I was talking to my mates about this, about how when you're trying to watch a football film, it's quite hard. It's very hard to get it right on the screen. But because American football has such a stop-start,
exactly,
you can stop the game and you can say, this is why this play is really important. This is what's about to happen, and then play it out. So it's like, it is a sport that is brilliantly designed for movies.
And we'll throw forward, we'll be talking later on about Warren Moon and the Houston Oilers, amongst other teams he played for. But one thing he was known for was an extremely tight spiral.
Oh.
And I think there are very few things I like watching more in sport than a football being thrown with a perfect spiral went down into a receiver's hands from a great height. It just looks cinematic. It looks amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's the perfect narrative. It's literally a narrative arc as well. It's like the ball goes up, slow motion of it in the air. What is going to happen? Is it going to work? Are we going to win? And then it comes down and we find out.
Oh, yeah, lovely.
It's great.
Lovely.
Well, before
you're right, though. You're right. When you see when you see our soccer on the big screen, it really looks good. Rugby looks bad.
Yeah.
Lots of sports look bad.
Yeah.
I saw a Bollywood rugby. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, wow.
But American football, because it's so compartmentalized.
Yeah, exactly.
And the action's in those short bursts.
Yeah.
Literally scripted movements. Then, I think it works really well. Last Boy Scout, we didn't mention that one.
Oh.
Woo!
There we go. What about
The Longest Yard? What am I doing?
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to be fine. We're
Mean Machine, Waterboy?
Yeah.
There are others.
The Replacements.
Oh, brilliant film.
Yeah, we're going to be grand. Before we get on to Warren Moon, have you been... We haven't spoken for a couple of weeks, actually. So have you been finding time in your busy schedule to follow the NFL currently? What's going down?
Never miss that, mate. I never miss that. I find time for that.
Great.
Should I quickly plug? I hate plugging on things, but I should mention that I've been filming and editing and working on Mammoth.
Yeah, plug away, Bubs. God, here's the place to do it.
All right, yeah. Well, it starts December the 1st. It's probably got after that anyway, but they'll all be on the BBC iPlayer. That's my sitcom.
Great.
And I should really start selling my tour, Tom, next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want to come and see me, if you want the best night of your life, not legally binding, of course. Then my Ideas Man stand-up tour will be on next September.
Amazing.
And through to spring of 2027.
When are tickets on sale, Bubs?
They're on sale right now. MikeBobbins.com and LiveNation.com.
The perfect Christmas present.
And could it be, dare we dream, that it could be a collab between myself and my number one teammate, Mr. Tom Parry?
Well, yeah.
Not for me.
Let's see how it works out.
Jerry Maguire, show me the money. I know what you're saying, but we'll have to discuss that. Get in Jerry Jones in to do the negotiations. I should get 60s. What I should get is 60s Vince Lombardi into the negotiations.
Oh, my God.
Because your agent will get in touch and he'll just say, I don't deal with agents.
Sorry, you've been transferred to another podcast.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Tom no longer works for us. He works for the off-menu podcast.
Oh, thank you. I can buy a house.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, just look at here, mate. So we got things like... Look at these now. Friday Night Lights, of course.
Oh,
Friday
my
Night Lights.
God. Yeah,
God, The Blind Side. Remember the Titans?
Yeah.
Invincible. Rudy, we said. American Underdog.
Yeah, we're gonna be grand.
Oh, we got loads on there. And do you know what? There's some of these I haven't seen and I've always wanted to watch. So this is going to work out just perfectly for me.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing a movies club. Oh, you had a good name for it, didn't you? Was it film
club?
It was a film club, wasn't it? A coach's film, putting it on film.
Coach's film.
Well,
session.
Film session. There you go, film session. And also, of course, listeners, if you've got suggestions of great NFL or American football films, then send them in. We will watch them. We will watch them. Necessary Roughness. Oh, yeah.
There's loads, mate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Loads.
Well, that's to look forward to once the season's ended. Season's bubbling up really nicely, isn't it, Bubs? This is
one of the best NFL seasons.
Yeah,
I can remember seeing. I think that there's no out and out favorite that I think. Yeah, you're going to smash everybody else. That's the Super Bowl nailed on. There's lots of good teams. You can't even say which teams are going to get the wild cards because there's so many good teams that are not first in their division. Yeah, it's exciting, mate. It's exciting. And in proper any given Sunday tradition, there's been some real turn-ups. Even this week, there was results I didn't see coming. But just goes to show, pal. I mean, the NFL, there's such fine margins in winning and losing. Teams are so evenly matched. If someone has a lights-out performance, or if someone doesn't, if Saquon Barkley puts the ball down and doesn't play like Saquon Barkley, you get beaten by a team with a losing record. Yeah,
and it's really funny following, obviously from a distance, but following like we do the Packers. I spend a lot of time when I'm procrastinating, looking at reactions.
You did
to
procrastinate, then, didn't you?
Yeah. Don't worry.
My earphones just glitching in an opportune moment
at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Like the drama, the reactions when it's like, oh my God, we just lost to the Eagles by 1 score. This is awful. And then you realize the Eagles go out and trounce the Detroit Lions the week after and then lose to the Cowboys. And it is like you said, everybody, there is so little difference between these teams. And what I find interesting about this part of the season is you've had this kind of the way the schedule's kind of worked out. Teams say, for example, the Colts that no one saw coming suddenly leap to 7 or 8 wins. But now, when the season really starts to kick in and you get into these cold weather games and you have to play the rest of your division and things like that, everything starts to level out again and it becomes... And teams that have been written off, like people were saying, the Chiefs they're nowhere to be seen, then suddenly back they come.
And that's the joy of the playoff system as well, then,
Yeah.
Because as soon as the culture in the playoffs, they'll more than likely get a bye week. But then they'll have to play another really good team, and one score could decide it. It's literally every game's a cup final, to use a sort of British cliche.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. That I got to briefly talk about that Cowboys game because I was trying to get an early night. I looked knackered because I'm trying to get some early nights in, right? And I haven't got. So I started watching that. I watched the Packers game, and I was very pleased to get a win. And then I thought, I'll watch the Cowboys and the Eagles. I said to my wife, I'll watch the first half, and then I'll come to bed, right?
Yeah.
21-0. I thought, here we go. And then I thought, I'll watch a bit of the second half. What a mistake to make it, right?
Yeah.
I think, I'm not going to bed now. So it was 21-all, and there was 3 seconds left on the clock. I thought, if he misses this kick, I've got to watch freaking overtime as well. But he didn't. Hell of a win for the Cowboys there.
I know. Exciting. Really exciting.
Great. I thought it was. I've never seen so many. I probably have, but if I have, I've forgotten about it. So many balls put down at crucial moments.
Yeah.
Fumbles and drops and both sides. Yeah.
I had a couple of things to ask you about that I'd never seen before in the last couple of weeks. And I think it was the previous week when the Raiders were playing the Cowboys and they opted to take an onside kick, the Raiders did. And obviously now you've got to declare an onside kick and you can only do it in the fourth quarter. It's rubbish. Why have they taken all the fun out of making an onside kick happen? It was one of the few, there aren't many kind of like big surprises that you can have up your sleeve. No one's really fake punting anymore and stuff like that. But like the onside kick, why would you take out the surprise element of it?
Well, I was thinking about Peyton in that, that just doing that off the was it the second half?
Yeah, it was the kickoff for the second half. Yeah,
you can do that now.
I know.
Just tell the ref, by the way, ref, I'm going for an onside kick. Okay, yeah.
They have elected for an onside. Oh, fuck you, sorry for it. No, come on, man. Come on, mate.
Yes, go on, what's the question?
The Raiders punted the onside kick up in the air.
Yes.
So I've never seen that happen before. So previously I've seen people bunt it along the ground, but they punted it like out of their hands directly up in the air.
Do you want the honest answer? I didn't know you could do that. That was news to me. Because I've been saying for a long time, with an onside kick, rather than just smash it across what we call a grubber kick in this country, rather than just try to drill it along the floor, why don't you just get a really high kicking tee and kick it in the air, and then it becomes a 50-50, becomes a high ball, right? So he kicked it out of his hand. I don't know how that happened, mate. I didn't think you could do that.
No, I was, that's it.
I know that after a safety, you've got to basically punt from the 20-yard line, what they call a free kick. But I didn't know that. I didn't know you could do it for a kickoff. What does it say?
So it was like an onside punt. Raiders attempt a rare free onside kick. Let's have a look. It just came up, and I was like, I've never seen that before. Basically.
No, I'd never had it either.
And
I should have researched this at the time. So I thought, guaranteed Tom's going to ask me what this is, and I don't know.
Yeah. You got to know these things, mate.
Yeah.
It's no good asking me.
Get in touch with us if you're an expert. If you are
once again, do you understand the game more than us? Probably. Please,
which is fine.
To let us know.
Which is fine.
That's why we're here. We're all here to learn.
I mean. We're all fans.
Then the other thing so
go on. Move on.
And then the other one was that I thought, it just made me laugh more than anything. But Sean Payton was on the on the touchline, and the refs obviously have to bomb up and down the touchline. And he got in the way of one of them because he was so busy trying to direct play, and they flagged him for it and gave a personal foul. Yeah, that took like 10 yards off, the play. It was like a proper flag throw just for being in the way of the ref.
Yeah,
and I've never seen that happen before.
I've never seen it before, but they got that huge. They've got a 1 meter or 1 yard wide sideline stripe painted bright white for a reason, right? You're not allowed in that stripe.
Yeah,
because that's where the officials run up and down. So if you're in your car in a bike lane and the police see you, you will get a ticket. If you're in you can be on the white stripe, of course you can. But if then an official runs into you, you're asking for trouble. So
what it reminded me of was, and I don't know if they still do this, but they definitely did it 3 or 4 seasons ago with Sean McVay, was because he gets so kind of impassioned and in the game. One of his coaches, or just like a security
employee
dude,
to basically hold him back.
Yeah. So his job is just to follow him through the whole game and pull him out the way of the referee.
Of officials, because he's screaming in their faces. Yeah, that's a great job, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wish if I'd have had someone like that on the field with me in rugby, I might have not got so many red cards over the
You'd have knocked your minder out as well, though.
You got to think there's some coaches like you. If he'd have run into Mike Ditka on the sideline,
yeah.
You're eating turf at that point, aren't you?
Yeah,
and then you throw a flag on Ditka, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, hardest coaches. There's one. That's what we should think about. Hardest coaches.
Yeah, I mean, currently you'd have to say Dan Campbell of.
He looks great, Dan, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he's turned that team right around as well.
A proper old school leader.
His players love him. You can tell.
You would run through a brick wall for that man.
Yeah. I hate to say it as a Packers fan, but I got a lot of time for him.
Well, especially if you stick him on the opposite kind of touchline to our coach, who is kind of an extremely well-groomed kind of guy who kind of looks after his hair and doesn't look like he's ever really taken a tackle in anger in his life. And you just
knows his stuff though, mate.
I mean, it's just different schools, isn't it? In fact, there is a weird kind of cultural thing in the NFL, and it turns every now and again where who's the Dolphins coach? McDaniels, and
can I just say how much being the coach of the Dolphins has aged him?
Oh my God!
How did he go from looking like a Miami Vice to someone who's like free basing?
Yeah, it's like when you see like Obama go through like 4 years of presidency, and you see the grey hairs. But
he was so cool about 2 years ago, wasn't he? He said, "Look at this dude."
He was like this young hip dude, and he's come out absolutely haggard.
Yeah. But it's such an intense job.
Oh,
you got zero job security.
Stressful.
You get in 3 hours sleep a night. It's completely results based, and there's nothing you can put the best game plan in the world together. You get a couple of bad calls. Someone reads the defense the wrong way. Someone makes a bad move. Someone just a lack of discipline. Someone sticks their nose in the wrong place on the line of scrimmage. Could lose you a game. Must be when they call some of those moves coach killers.
Yeah.
There's things that happen. They're just out of your hands completely.
And also there is so much preparation involved, and because you can study the film, like the guy who last week I shouted out on Instagram, who I like to look at, like he always highlights this kind of thing of going 3 games ago, because they did this when someone proposed this play. Then this coach knew they would do that and has prepared to do this instead.
Amazing. It's amazing.
And it's this kind of this tactical kind of this counter attacking.
Yeah.
Because you've seen them on film do things a certain
double
way.
bluffs as well, though.
Yeah.
And you'll play against some defensive coordinators, you think, right, they're really switched on. They do a lot of study, they do a lot of game film. We'll show them this.
Yeah.
And then we'll do something else because we know they'll react to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
double bluffs
insane. Yeah. But the point I was going to make is that when things are going well for them, they're like, these guys are tactical geniuses. And then as soon as it starts to go wrong, the amount of kind of the narrative swings and the amount of pundits, former players, who are so keen to just label them like nerd boys and be like, what does the nerd boy know? And like,
the X's and O's.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, well, the one that those X's and O's won the last 3 games, didn't they?
Yeah, and they swing behind like this kind of old-fashioned, what you need is a Dan Campbell, leader of men, and then obviously when that doesn't go well, go on.
To someone talking about Lombardi the once, and they said, I think we talked about this maybe in the first season we did this, when they had that power sweep was their big play they built their championships on, right?
Yeah.
He said, I sat down there and Lombardi spent the whole day basically on the chalkboard doing one play. Just going through the power sweep all day, and there's a clip of him saying, "This is the play that we have to make work, and we will make work." And everyone knew their role to the nth degree, and it's like when you got the tush push coming, right? Everyone knows it's coming. Everyone knew in certain situations they're running the power sweep, Packers, right? All right, that's fine, but you've got to stop it though.
You got to stop it. You got to know how to.
And that's the thing with Philadelphia. They did it again on the weekend, obviously. But when they run that play, I know people whinge about it. Tough shit. There's nothing stopping you doing it.
Yeah.
You know
are you on that? I mean, like, there's talk that it won't be around next season.
Oh, well, that'll be bullshit if they do that. I think it makes the game better because I'd much rather see them go for it on 4th down than punt. Much rather.
That's true. Yeah.
And you know that if it's 4th and 1 with the Eagles, they're not going to punt that. They're not going to go for a field goal at 4th and goal from the 1 yard line.
Do you see some teams? Some teams are trying to defend against it now by just getting like one of their biggest blokes to lie down in the way. I'd fucking hate to be that guy.
But you know what? Obviously, I coach a lot of rugby with my boy and everything else, and I watch a lot of rugby. And you're almost better now. It's different in the NFL because you don't have to ground the ball, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a tactic now where you actually let the defender over the try line because you want to hold them up.
Yeah.
So as long as you get your body under the ball, it's fine. You can't get on the floor. There's no try. But there must be something where it's winning that height battle. But it's the same in the NFL. You got to win the height battle. So when it's that tush push coming, you've just got you'll see BJ Raji's shirt behind you. Get your biggest defensive tackles and just get them to hit the deck immediately, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, people have tried that. I haven't just invented a new idea I haven't become a star defensive coordinator.
We'll stick on.
I just think, well, what they should. I don't mind it, but I mean, it is officiated poorly anyway. It's illegal to assist a runner anyway.
Yeah.
Other than blocking, you can't push a runner.
Yeah, that's it.
And that is what happens.
And also, they keep going early on it, and they can't call them on that for some reason. And it's that. I think there are problems around the tush push. Basically, it's not. Yeah, but we'll get to that. And then finally, just to say this, I had a real.
Someone said just keep because I mean, infinity. Half of the 1 yard line is the it's half a yard, half of that's a quarter, half of that's an eighth, half of that's 60. It never ends, right?
Yeah.
And it's always half the distance to the goal line. Well, they said, why didn't the defense just anticipate the snap all the time? And if you get it wrong 20 times in a row, they're still not in the end zone.
Yeah, that's very true.
But then that solved the problem, Tom.
Well, no, but that did start to happen at the end of last season, and that was one of the reasons why they pushed for it. Because they said the game was descending into farce. Who was it against now? I can't remember.
Because you could officially, you could go off early 30 times in a row. They still haven't scored.
Can they give a penalty try like in rugby they give a penalty try?
Well, yeah, we get the what do we call it? What's our favourite move? A palpably unfair act. Is it called that?
What's that?
Is it a palpably unfair act?
I don't know.
Let me have a look at this a minute. If I got this right again, Tom, I think we can all agree I'm an expert. Palpably.
Oh yeah, here we go. Palpably unfair act, NFL.
What's this say?
For a palpably unfair act, offenders may be disqualified. The referee, after consulting the officiating crew, enforces any such distance penalty as they consider equitable and irrespective of any other specified code penalty. And they nearly used it to award the Eagles a touchdown.
But I think you can award a touchdown for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. It's like a penalty try. It's hardly ever seen. I've never seen one. So I suppose you could say after the 30th attempt, if you try to anticipate the snap, okay, the next time we're going to call it a palpably unfair act and give you a touchdown.
Great. I like that.
Yeah.
Love the use of the word palpably.
Thanks, mate.
That's good stuff, that is, Bubs.
That's just stuck in there from years ago. I'm impressed with myself there.
Yeah.
This is the sort of thing you get with this podcast. You'll get, it's yin and yang, isn't it?
Yeah.
Big swathes of me not knowing anything and the occasional nugget. It's worth it.
We're panning for gold. That's how it feels. I also, just very quickly, because we need to get onto our speak pipes. I had a really sweet moment at the weekend where we're in the midst of 5-year-old birthday parties, and every weekend I have to do at least 2. My daughter's 5. I'm not going on my own.
You should point out that's not your job.
Just point that out.
Or a hobby.
One of them was a soft play area, and took the kid in. Off she went, and I sat down next to her dad, who I'd not spoken to. I'd seen it at several of the parties. And I had my Green Bay Packers hat on, and he went, "Oh, Packers fan, are you?" And I went, "Yeah."
Lovely.
And he went, "I'm a Washington fan." And it was like a genuine NFL fan. The first I've found in Exeter, apart from my postman. And it was like, off we went. The 2 hours disappeared, Bubs.
Gone.
Oh, what a find.
And you probably, next time we're at soft play and he's there, it's latte time, isn't it? Latte and have a chat with the NFL. It is great.
Days.
It is great.
Yeah, maybe get a playoff game in. We'll see.
Because even though it's really well supported these days, and they can fill big stadiums 3 or 4 weeks in a row, right? I think probably only, obviously, football can do it. Maybe rugby, but I mean, after that, you're struggling. It'd have to be big rugby as well. So the NFL's right up there, but it's still niche enough that if you see someone on the school run or at work or on the bus or on the tube with an NFL hat on, you can just strike up a conversation.
Yeah. But also, you do also run the risk of, and this happened to me a couple of times last year, once in Edinburgh, where because obviously people like the fashion of the NFL, I actually crossed the road to say to a bloke, "Go Pack, go," and he went, "What?" And I went, "Your shirt? Go Pack, go," and he went, "I don't know what you're talking about, mate."
Oh God. Well, in the old days, like in the 80s, it would have been Raiders, because everyone had Raiders gear on, didn't they? People didn't have a bloody clue about the game. And I always engage people with NFL stuff. You wouldn't do it with a football shirt, would you?
No.
You sit on the tube, you see a bloke there with a Man City top, and you go, "Hey, Man City, hey mate, do you like your football?"
No, just like the colour.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, it's my stop. Yeah, I'll get after it. Pipe me up, Tom.
Pipe you up. Well, as always, we would love you for getting in touch. So we've got Any Given Wednesday pod. We've got Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and of course, we've got the famed Speak Pipes. We've got 2 to get through today. You ready for your first Speak Pipe, Bubs?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Morning, lads. Loving the podcast. My name's John Myers. I'm a Giants fan. Not a great story, just 2007 Super Bowl. I was at uni and it was the first time I'd really become aware of the NFL. So I picked a team and I preferred New York. So that's what stuck. As probably a lot of joy over the years. I have a question I've always wondered about, and it's about field goals. Why don't more teams kick field goals from longer? Obviously, it's a tough skill, kicking a field goal, and it's a tough ball, and I get that. But you may as well have a go, right? Especially towards the end of games, like 60, 70, 80, 90 yards. Like, what's stopping you? Anyway, don't know if there's an answer to that question, but thanks for your time.
Top man, John. There is an answer, I think.
Physics?
Well, you could theoretically kick one 80 yards. I mean, I think we're not a million miles away from that with kicker balls and stuff now, and surface changes and all the other stuff. So, but let's have a look at it. The reason that all the sort of longest kicks in NFL history are usually taken right at the end of games is because during a game, what you don't want to do is give away field position. Yeah. And I do think this would be something, they tinker with rugby rules enough, but I think I'd love to bring this in because I don't like kicking for goals in rugby, right? So if I'm on the 50-yard line, and I've got options, let's put me on 50-yard line. Let's go halfway, make it easy, right? So if you take a field goal, you got the length of or the depth of the end zone as well. So that makes it 60. Then you've got the placer. It's going to be about 7 yards back typically from the line of scrimmage. So a 50-yard line is around a 67-yard field goal. Okay. So it's hard to kick that, number one. Right? The big thing is, though, the reason they do it at the end of games is if you miss that on 4th down, you change over at that point.
Where you kick from.
So you give away half a field. So they start with the first down on the halfway line. So I think that's the big thing. That's the deterrent. That's why teams are loath to, will quite often punt when it's, if it's a 50-50, they will punt. Because what they don't want to do is give a team that much field for free.
And if the field goal comes up short, is this, because I know this happens in college football, but if a returner is in front of the goalposts and catches the ball, they can run it back, can't they?
No, I think they can.
I know it's definitely true in college football because there's that.
Let me just check it out because I'm not getting caught out twice in one show.
There's this. While you check that out, there's this amazing, famous.
Can you return a missed field goal in the NFL? Yeah, you can. I thought I could.
Yeah, there you go.
Really dumped myself there, then, Tom. Well, yeah, you can run it back. So whereas if I punt and we've got a well drilled punt team, I can probably make sure that you get a first down inside the 10-yard line.
There's an extraordinary play, John, to Google, which is called the Kick Six. It's also known as the Kick-Bama kick, where it was Alabama against Auburn Tigers.
Oh, flipping great play.
And with the final kick of the game,
great play.
They were tied and they went to kick for a winning field goal from 57 yards. And the kick was short. And the guy from Auburn, this guy, Chris Davis, catches the ball and returns it for a touchdown, walk-off touchdown. And it is
109-yard return. Or whatever.
The commentary on it is absolutely extraordinary.
Yeah.
It's absolutely worth your time. So yeah, Google the kick six between Alabama and Auburn.
It's a good question, John. The reason is it's all about field position. It's all about not wanting to give the opposition the ball on the halfway line. So,
have you ever kicked? I might have asked you this before, Bubs, but the kicking length is getting much bigger, and obviously, I think the record was equal the other week, and we talked about it. Like it was 66 yards, I think now.
Yeah, we'll have a 70-yarder.
We think like a 70-yarder in a dome will probably happen this year.
Yeah,
maybe.
I would say.
But have you ever kicked
a football? I've kicked a rugby ball.
Yeah,
I've tried to kick a football. It's just because I haven't grown up with it. It's such a hard skill. It's like kicking a rock compared to rugby ball. They're quite narrow. They're very pointed.
Yeah. There's a part of me that kind of fancies my chances, basically, whenever I see them kick it. Like,
you're a football. You got a football background. Good Wolverhampton boy.
So I think if you gave me,
are you thinking NFL? Are you thinking NCAA Division One? What are you thinking?
Yeah, well, all I think is if you gave me a couple of hours, to practice,
could you kick a football? Well?
Yeah, I can.
Can you kick a rugby ball well?
Yeah,
you probably could do it then. I can't kick either of those things particularly well.
I fancy my chances at like a 40-yarder, for example. I'd feel like
mate, this is time we need to see in the new year, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd like to give it a go.
Cardiff, we'll go on the Cardiff University American football pitch.
Here we go.
I'll see if you can kick.
Yeah. I fancy my chances, basically. I think 30 yards, yes. 35, and then
bold as brass.
40, let's see.
With a two-step run up, proper bang, bang, and over?
Bang, bang, and over, yeah.
All right. Let's do it. We'll line that up. We'll line that up, mate. I can make that happen.
Okay, let's see. Let's see.
Magic.
Cheers, John. And I liked your reason for supporting the Giants as well. I think a lot of people, because the Super Bowl is like, it's the first game a lot of people watch, and you got to pick a side. So, it's a good route in.
Also, Eli never gets the credit he deserves, by the way.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
You don't win 2 Super Bowls because you're not a good quarterback.
Yeah, he's a bit of a obviously he's got a good sense of humor, but he was always a bit of a punchline just because he was Peyton's younger brother.
That's it. He's the kid brother, his older brother is this sort of Hall of Famer who's, an amazing, got all sorts of records. Eli's won more Super Bowls. Eli's a really good quarterback, but I think he's quite happy to sort of live up to that reputation as well.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Yeah. All right, let's have our second speak pipe.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Tom. It's Reese from Pembrokeshire. I'm in my 5th year now following the NFL and absolutely loving the show. It's exactly what I was after as still a relatively new fan, sort of getting to learn a bit about the history of all the franchises and the competition in a way that's relatable for me as a British fan. So yeah, keep up the good work with it. I got into the NFL after a couple of years of trying, so watching the Super Bowl, playing a bit of Madden, but it never fully clicked, even though I knew loads of people that followed the NFL, that like football, like rugby, same as me. And I really wanted to get it, and it never quite clicked until listening to Mike on a Distant Pod, his passion for the game, and then a YouTube video from a guy called B. Monis, who put the NFL into terms that Brits can understand. And after that, it just clicked. I chose a team. In the end, I settled on the Packers as someone from West Wales, a rural, small-town team taking on the big boys, fan-owned. It really struck a chord with me, and I haven't looked back since. Anyway, my question to you is, after the trade deadline, with all the restructuring of contracts, one of the things that always comes up is dead cap space. So I'd be interested to know, could you explain a little bit about what that is and how the contracts work? Loving the show. Keep up the good work.
Oh. Well, Reese boy from West Wales, first of all, I thought I wasn't going to mention then.
Oh yeah,
he just said he just gave you he gave you the old thanks there, and I didn't get anything. So
but then when it arrived, it was really sweet, Mike. When it arrived,
beautiful. So basically, so you got a salary cap, right? So there's say, let's make it easy. You got a £10 salary cap, right? We're trading. I decided just finally I can't put up with Tom Parry's bullshit any longer. I'm sending him off to the New Orleans Saints, just like Vince Lombardi would have done.
I'm their new kicker.
Yeah. So, right, I'm going to get this. I'll do this way. It's to do with players leaving and their salary. So, I would put it as dead cap is a salary cap charge for a player who is no longer on the roster, representing a prorated signing bonus or the guaranteed money always paid the player, but not yet accounted for in the cap.
Yeah.
So when a team releases or trades a player retires the remaining money, the dead cap must be applied to the team's current cap space in the lump sum. Team spread signing bonus over several years to avoid immediate cap hits. So if I've given you,
if you've written a contract to agree,
they're big on signing bonuses and stuff, right? I've agreed to give you. We got a £10 salary cap. I'm giving you a pound. Obviously, getting massively underpaid here, right? A pound signing.
Why didn't you say 10 million? It would have been so less patronising.
Right? Yeah. Right. Sorry, Tom.
It's like
you just told me you couldn't kick a 40-yard field goal. Right, 10 million salary cap.
There we go.
Okay, but I gave Tom Parry, superstar kicker out of Exeter,
40 yards,
$1 million signing bonus, right? And I've split that over a number of years, right? So Tom then goes, that money has to be accounted for. Because otherwise what you could do is sign players on big bonuses. Then when they trade,
just move
that money becomes empty. And then we can just get somebody else in, right?
So you could promise the moon, basically.
Yeah. So dead cap is, it's really hard to explain it. Yeah, so
it kind of makes sense though.
It's a player that retires or leaves or is traded. The money you've invested in that player, whether it's long term, broken down over several years, whether it was a one-off signing bonus, that has to be accounted for in your salary cap. You can't write that off because that's money that if next year I'm going to pay you as part of your signing bonus another $1 million, and then I trade you. That $1 million is gone. I can't. That doesn't go back into the team's accounts. So I've got $1 million less next year because I promise you $1 million next year.
And there's a lot. That's why there is so much kind of jiggery pokery when it comes to the shape of people's contracts and how they.
You'll always see, which we don't see over here. So much guaranteed, or some of those contracts sound massive, but they got lots of small print.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, they're still massive. So basically, dead cap space, if you've invested a load in a player or you've put a big signing bonus on a player and you spread that out over a number of years, if you then trade that player or that player leaves, that money has to be accounted for in future salary cap negotiations. So you know that.
Yeah, go on.
This would have been Tom Parry's million here, but that's gone. So we can't have that. That's his money. Otherwise, you could just put money forward every year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To beat the cap, you can't do that. It's a way to stop owners beating the salary cap, essentially.
And it's the reason why teams.
Making my head hurt.
No. I think we did a good job there.
HPE.
That's great. Okay, there are 10 beanbags on the ground.
What are you going to come up with a tenner for?
I don't know, that really threw me.
And then a pound, and then it's all about 10p. I thought, what the fuck are you doing?
If I give you a pound to go to the shop, Reese, that's like...
Yeah. But you want to buy your signing bonus is a bag of mini chews, right? But they're 5 pence. But I'm giving you 1 penny of them every year for the next 5 years. Mike, what the hell are you doing? I don't know, Tom. Tom, I panic when I hear numbers, I'll be honest.
It's kind of why as well. I mean, I know obviously over here we worry about transfer fees, but very rarely do we go into the minutiae of wages, whereas the way the NFL is covered, reporters will always talk about, well, they're on this wage, you get this signing fee, you know it all, but it's because it affects your team's strategy for the next few seasons. And so, say, like, for example, a team like the Commanders this season, who, because they thought they had something special in Jaden Daniels, they got in a lot of older pros, and that will affect them in the next couple of seasons because their dead cap space will handicap them moving forwards for the next couple of seasons. It's why teams like the Packers are kind of relying on young players who are still on rookie contracts, where actually that is relatively low salary, meaning, like you can make a splash play like Micah Parsons. You've got room to make that move because so much of your team are rookies. So the reason everyone is so obsessed with things like that is because it does affect and help you understand your team's strategy moving forward, I'd say.
And it's also, they do, like, a lot of those will be per game. They'll break it down per game as well. So if you're released, they're quite mercenary in that respect. If you're released, you're not getting your... even the big players might be getting paid per game. So if you go, you're gone. But
Reece, thank you. Yeah, thanks so much, mate. Great question, and thanks for that for the messages there. I mean, that's the reason me and Bubs wanted to start this podcast, is because there wasn't one like it out there, and so we're really glad that it's hitting the sweet spot for you, buddy. Everyone, keep writing in, keep sending in your emails.
Great reason too, like West Wales, rural,
beautiful
Packers,
beautiful.
You know what I mean? Lovely.
We've got to get cracking. We've been shooting the shit for a long time.
We got 15 minutes. Come on,
this is 15 minutes for this week's subject. Now, each week we choose a different team from the NFL, focusing on one interesting aspect from their past. And this week, our franchises, well, now they're known as the Tennessee Titans, but they were back in the day the beautifully uniformed Houston Oilers.
Oh, thank God you mentioned it.
Oh, a good-looking team.
Houston Oilers. So, if you're a new fan, these are nothing to do with the Houston Texans.
No.
They are to do with the Tennessee Titans.
It's confusing, isn't it?
It is a bit, yeah.
Yeah, so did the Houston Oilers stop existing and then move, or did they move and change?
They were going to go to Tennessee and keep the name Oilers. They were going to be the Tennessee Oilers originally. And then some pointed out there was no oil fields in Tennessee. It was a bit of a daft name. So it was one of those fan-chosen names, I think, the Tennessee Titans.
Titans.
I love the Houston Oilers, though. Did you know this is where, have I told you this before? This is where astroturf comes from, the name.
No.
Oh, right. Okay. Space program in the 1960s, based in Houston, yes?
Yes. Houston.
So the Houston baseball team were called the Astros, as in astronauts, right?
Yeah.
It was like the astronaut city, Houston.
Yeah.
So the Houston Astros wanted to play indoors because of the baking hot heat in the summer. It was nothing to do with it. Whereas like teams in the north want to avoid the cold, teams in Texas want to avoid the heat, right? So they want to play in a dome stadium. They tried everything to grow grass. The grass kept dying. Yeah. So in the end, they invented an artificial turf. And because it was in the Astrodome in Houston, which is named because of the Houston Astros, which is named after the space program, they called it AstroTurf.
That's great.
There we go, mate. That's
Bobbins. That is good stuff. That is.
So they've always been. So they were sort of quite a trend-setting team. With, as you pointed at the top, Tom, one of the finest uniforms.
Right.
When Tennessee play in these as a throwback, I love it. Such a good look, man.
Just before we move away from that amazing fact, Bubs, this is what I want from our listeners, because I'm definitely going to use that in the next week or two when I'm having a dad chat. I want our listeners to get out there and use that and report back how it goes.
Yeah, drop it into conversation.
Tell us, in what conversation did you drop it in, and what was the reaction?
It's don't you?
So, report back,
because it was called the 8th wonder of the world when they first built the Houston Astrodome. It was the biggest domed building in the world, essentially.
And it was strictly for baseball, or did the Oilers?
It was
play
just for
there,
baseball at first, yeah, and then Houston Oilers played there as well. So it was a dual-use stadium with artificial turf, AstroTurf.
It's a real shame, because Houston Oilers became the Tennessee Titans, and branding-wise and name-wise, that's not a great fit. It's Tennessee Titans. And Houston Texans, they've got a problem as well. It just feels like they've really lost this kind of wonderful, magical thing of the Houston Oilers and their uniform. And
I loved them. It was proper sort of oil Texas.
Yeah.
It's Texas, a football mad state. And I can remember, I mean, he was one of my favorite players watching the NFL in the 80s, Warren Moon. And also then, because I loved the fact that he'd played in Canada for years, being a big Canada-phile myself as well.
Yeah,
Earl Campbell. So the Earl Campbell's in the. So if you go on the Football Life, which NFL films make about Warren Moon, there's a brief bit of Earl Campbell in there. But my God, I mean, that's a future episode. The way he used to run a football was incredible. Yeah. I was like trying to stop a truck. But yeah, won the big one though.
Well, let's go back and tell the story properly, because that's so. Who we're talking about today is the Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon, who had an illustrious career without ever quite hitting the peaks of a Super Bowl or really a championship.
Personal peaks he hit several times, but
personal peaks, incredible personal peaks. And not only, I mean, like one of the huge things is a pioneer. One of the first kind of sustained successful career for a black quarterback at a time when he emerged in the late 70s, when he would be booed on the pitch for being a black quarterback. He would, even though he was kind of winning titles at high school, he'd be dropped for white quarterbacks. They advised him not to apply for colleges. Everyone was trying to persuade him to change position.
Defensive back.
Yeah, be a defensive back. And he had to turn around and say, listen to me, I was born to play quarterback. And he was right. So, very incredibly inspiring story, and went on to have a career that spanned 4 decades. But when he started his career, so there was this incredible thing where when he was applying for college, they were saying they were trying to hold him back because they didn't want him to move, because he was a decent quarterback. He had to kind of he had a part-time job at the college, and he would break into the film room.
Oh, this one is a junior college.
Yeah, junior college.
Trying to get into a Division I college, yeah.
So he would kind of, at night, he had keys to the room. So he would go into the film room, send out his film, and put it back in the film room without them knowing, because they were trying to keep him at junior college.
Oh, do you know what? One of the horrible racist tropes, and I can remember this in the 80s, and this didn't die out for a long time, that a black player wouldn't have the intellectual capacity to play quarterback, that it was a real thinking position, right? Which is fucking horrible. Sorry for the swear word. Wow. But you listen to his life, and his old man died when he's very young, when he's 7 years of age. But the things you remember is his dad trying to educate him in some of the finer things in life. So he'd play him opera music, and he'd play him jazz, and he was, he seems like he's a very well-read young man.
Yeah.
I mean, to get into junior college and have the nous to think, I know what I'm going to do, mate. I'm going to use these keys, get in that film room, and I'll send Division I colleges my game film. And I think that is absolutely an inspired move by him, right? And it worked.
Yeah.
He ends up going to University of Washington, the Huskies up there in the Northwest, as a fantastic college career. But even then, so he's proved himself at high school. He goes to junior college, has a great season there. They want to keep him there for the full 2 years, but he, through his own recognizances, gets an offer from a Division I college, gets into a Division I college. Even then, they ask him to go to, have you thought about not playing quarterback? He's like, no, I'm a quarterback. What don't you understand about that, right?
And he's one of the best throwers of the ball. Like the way people talk about the way Dan Marino could throw a ball, the way Warren Moon could throw a ball. Beautiful. The fact they were trying to talk this guy out of being a quarterback. He threw the tightest spiral, and a beautiful.
Well, the players saying they could hear it. You could hear the ball leave his fingers, and because he's such a meticulous person. Like his nails have to be a certain length. They were saying, like his fingernails.
Yeah.
So he could grip the ball properly. It had to be just right, Yeah, but the way that he threw a ball, and the fella said, either you caught it properly or it broke your fingers or hit you in the face. I mean, it was like a rocket trying to catch it, right? Even then, he can't get in the NFL. And he thinks, I'm not going to get it. They want me to go defensive back in the NFL, even after my college career. So he thinks, well, no, I'll approach Canada. I'll go and play in the Canadian Football League.
Because it's worth saying that there had only been 3 black at that time, and we're talking the end of the 70s. There had only been 3 black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl era that had more than 5 starts.
Yeah.
So 3 that had a chance to establish themselves. There was Marlon Briscoe, Joe Gilliam, and James Harris. They were kind of the people that came before him as to inspire him that yes, there can be black quarterbacks.
Well, he mentioned in his Hall of Fame speech as well. But
very moving that was.
So he he decides to go to Canada. I'll go and prove myself in Canada. And then also by doing that, you bypass the draft. But then his agent's saying, because he decided to go to Canada and declared early, any player, any team, and I think there were 12 rounds of the draft back in those days, any one of the then 28 teams in any one of those 12 draft rounds could have picked him, and they would have held their rights whenever he came back to the States, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember after the first Rugby World Cup, Dallas Cowboys, I think, spent a 12th round pick on Jonah Lomu, just in case he ever decided to try the NFL, right?
Oh my God. I didn't know that.
True. Yeah, true story.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're saying that there is the off chance that somebody from the NFL is listening to this podcast and I might get picked up as
you might get signed just on the off chance,
just because of my 40-yard kicks.
Yeah, big time. I'll take it. We'll go and video it when we get down there. She goes to Canada, plays for Edmonton, who are now called the Elks. They were called the Eskimos back in the day.
Yeah.
In the Canadian Football League. And nowadays, I'm not saying this to pee my Canadian friends off, because I've been to see lots of Canadian football games, right? I lived over there. A big Toronto Argonauts fan. I've watched the Calgary Stampeders plenty of times. But now the CFL is it's such a minor league compared to the NFL. There was a time in the 70s when they were signing Heisman Trophy winners into the CFL. Yeah. Like Joe Theismann played in the CFL, Warren Moon played in the CFL, Doug Flutie played in the CFL. Good players.
Slightly different rule changes up there?
A little bit, yeah. Wider pitches, bigger end zones, one more player on the field, all the players in motion at the same time.
Mounties.
Mounties on the field. Yeah, and you got to play uphill and downhill. There's not like to have a flat pitch. All that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And the ball's just covered in maple syrup as well.
Yeah.
Really easy to catch.
I thought so.
He then we won 5 Grey Cups, which is like their Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
You think surely now. But still, it was still, I think only 2 teams were going for him when he decided to come back to the NFL. And he says he sat down there watching telly thinking, why am I not in the NFL?
Yeah. He said the incredible thing where he said, like, the first time he ran out on the field in Canada, he said there was an extraordinary moment where he just thought, what's different here? And it was the fact that there was no reaction to his race, and there wasn't booing, and there wasn't like his own fans on his back, and that is an extraordinary thing to hear. And that's what really took me about this. He's very kind of humble, really, about that experience. But when we talk about, you often say it's the hardest position in all of sport. You look at the pressure that these kids are under, college kids, high school kids, when they're going through being a quarterback, the amount of pressure that brings and attention that brings, and you put also onto that person's shoulders, this youngster's shoulders, like this overt racism. It's an extraordinary
and
achievement.
Brutal racism.
Yeah,
like, the words that I would never repeat.
Yeah, that
you hear as a young man all the time. And then you've got a young family and they hear that stuff. It must be brutal. Not like it doesn't go on still. Obviously, it still goes on. But I mean, it was even worse then. But anyway, so he comes back. That they don't know if he's going to go to back to Seattle, where he had been to college. I think they were going for him and Houston. Everyone just assumed he's going to go to Seattle. But a masterstroke there by the Houston owners. They bring in the Eskimo head coach as the head coach of Houston. Yeah. Because he loves him, loves working with him, And
they said that's the first time, because it's happened a lot since, and it still happens quite a lot today, but that was the first example of the hiring of a head coach specifically to try and get a player.
Yeah.
Which I found interesting.
Yeah.
Because now that happens sometimes where, if a big quarterback's coming up in the draft, they'll hire a quarterback-friendly head coach, in order to facilitate.
Or they'll try and get that college's quarterback coach or offensive coordinator.
Yeah. So they said that was the first example of that.
Yeah, so they bring him there. He doesn't do particularly well in the first season. They're pretty bad, the Oilers, man. When you watch the Football Life doc, there seems to be an awful lot of drops going on. I mean, he's on the money. And you think about what the players said about the way through the football, so hard and so tight.
Yeah,
a lot of balls hit the floor with nothing to do with him. But then by the second season, theirs turned it around, and they just weren't a very good side, Houston. But I just remember him being really good. And then he sort of, I knew he was in the Hall of Fame, and you sort of think, yeah, but is it just because he was the first black quarterback, which would be reason enough, right? But I looked at his look at this.
Oh.
So, awards and highlights, okay?
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact he played until he was in his early 40s. So the Grey Cup is the Canadian Championship. 5 Grey Cup championships, 2 Grey Cup most valuable players, CFL's most outstanding player, the NFL's offensive player of the year, NFL man of the year, the CFL All-Star team, 9 times NFL Pro Bowl, 2 times NFL passing yards leader, 2 times CFL passing yards leader, NFL passing touchdown leader, 3 times the CFL passing touchdown leader. The Titans Oilers Ring of Honor, the Tennessee Titans number 1 jersey retired. He's on the Edmonton Wall of Honor. He won the Bart Starr Award. I mean, the man is an incredible. I'll tell you about the difference in the two sports. I was looking at the percentages, right? So his passing percentage, completion percentage in the Canadian Football League, 57.5% career.
Yeah.
And in the NFL was 58.4%, so less than 1% difference.
Yeah.
But touchdowns to interceptions in the CFL were like 2-1 touchdowns to interceptions. But look at his passing yards in the NFL, 50,000 yards. And he didn't play the first 5 years of his career.
Yeah, that's extraordinary, isn't it?
He didn't play the first 5 years. It's flipping mad. Like I was thinking, okay, mate, fair enough. Absolutely incredible player. Absolutely.
He was only the while where when they were playing, he was only behind Dan Marino in terms of figures, in terms of
what does that tell you?
The amount of yards and touchdowns that he'd thrown. Yeah, awesome. And then in later life, he also, which was interesting to me, he mentored Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Once Cam Newton was drafted first and went to the Panthers, he was there, and he was also at the Seahawks when Russell Wilson was, won his Super Bowl.
And again, you don't now. I mean, you don't even think, you don't even mention the fact. It'd be like saying, it's just a moot point. You would never mention the color of a quarterback because there's so many black quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
It's never mentioned. But I can certainly remember it. Because of Warren Moon, I can remember the massive deal when Doug Williams played in the Super Bowl. I can remember the first black head coach. I remember the first 2 black head coaches playing in the Super Bowl. It was a big deal. It's not a big deal now, which is down in large part of people like him, right? And
absolutely.
We couldn't do this pod, Tom. I know there's been civil cases with Warren Moon. I know that he's settled out of court for various things. I'm not excusing that. I'm not forgiving that for a second, right? Yeah. You can look that up yourself and look at the facts for yourself. I'm talking about his football career. But also this is 2014, this documentary that I saw, the Football Life one. His ex-wife's there. I know he's got the 4 kids, and then he got a second family with the second wife. He just seems like a very quiet man. He talks about counselling to try and come out of himself a little bit. It's unusual to say people like to say they got no regrets, and he says, "Well, I've got regrets. I wish I'd enjoyed playing more."
Yeah.
But you said then, when you grow up and you hear that all the time. Imagine knowing you're padding up in a change room. All you want to do is play football.
Yeah.
You love the
absolutely.
game. You know you're going to get out there and there's going to be people calling you the N-word. There's going to be people saying, you used to throw in watermelons. Just this horrible racist shit that you got to deal with all the time.
Yeah.
It has to affect your enjoyment of the game.
Absolutely.
There was one lovely bit in this where they said because he wasn't a role model and an icon, especially for black athletes in America. And there's the one I think he played for the Bengals. Alfred, I can't remember his last name. But he said he hits him in a. They showed the tackle. He hits Warren Moon and says, "I'm sorry, Mr. Moon." He said, "That's okay, Alfred." And he said he knew my name, and he was so pleased that he knew his name.
Yeah. I find that really. I find that little detail really emotional because you just think
you wouldn't have the name on your back. You get your surname. So the fact he knew his first name, that's okay, Alfred.
Yeah.
Well, fair play to you. I tell you the other bit I loved about this though. I loved this when they traded him from Houston, and there's appears to be no real bad blood there because he gets that it's a business. They'd signed Cody Carlson to come in and sort of like when they brought Love in when Rodgers was there, and they brought Rodgers in there when Favre was there, and
he was 37.
They bring in the young buck there because you're 37. You're 15. If you hadn't gone to the CFL, you're a 15, 16-year veteran by this point.
Yeah,
they bring in the young buck and he said, I had a big salary. Talking about salary caps again, where he's going to be on a rookie contract. So I understood it. He said, but I said to the GM, I'll have a longer career than him. You think I'm finished? I'm not finished. And then he goes and plays, so
plays at the Vikings.
I knew he'd gone to the Vikings. I'd forgotten that he also went to
Seattle.
The Chiefs and Seattle.
Yeah.
And ends up 42 years of age, and the GM there for Houston after one game. He said, Warren just came to him and said, after Cody Carlson had retired and left the league, he went, I told you so. I thought, imagine what that must feel like. Yeah. Imagine how good that feels. I told you so. You've let him go, and he's had 10 years after that, winning games and setting records.
In 2006, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he said it was only then that really the emotion of what he'd achieved and against the odds that had been stacked against him really hit him. And you're right, he's an interesting character because, and again, those kind of, we're not going to just paint over the later allegations that he settled out of court. I read around those things, but when you look at the documentaries about him as a character, he is an interesting character in that he's kind of very domestic. He likes to clean and sew and cook. He bakes cookies. He had it's a really interesting portrait of a man. He's a
complex character.
Yeah.
I found the bit at the beginning fascinating. I knew that his dad had passed away young. I didn't know that his mother is on the dock, and she says, I should never have told him that he's the man of the house. People say to you, you're the man of the house. No, you're the man of the house. I say to my son, joking around, if I'm going away gigging away for the weekend, right?
Yeah.
He's 7 years of age. Yeah. And he said his sisters, he ended up peeing his sisters off because he thought his job was to be man of the house. Yeah. So he learned to cook. He learned to sew. They said even when he cooks now, he cleans up as he goes, and the kitchen's immaculate. Everything's got to be just so. And he was called Papa and Pops and Daddy and all this sort of stuff when he joined other teams because
Daddy Warren.
They're saying everyone else would have like a kit bag, and he'd turn up with a briefcase. Like he was always that old head on young shoulders, very measured.
Yeah,
but I gotta say though, mate, don't shave the moustache off, Warren.
No, he looks amazing with the moustache.
So he's 58 in this doc, though. He looks brilliant in this doc, right?
He
looks aged so well. He's looked after himself.
Yeah.
But get the moustache back on, mate. That was a good moustache there.
You do say that to everyone, though. You'd say that to Adolf Hitler.
I do love a moustache. I do love a moustache. And apologise. I don't want to apologise for either.
No.
An apologetic moustache fan.
Nor should you. Well, there you go, Warren Moon. Check out this Football in Life documentary.
It's a great doc, yeah.
It's a good doc, but also, read around the rest of it. Thanks, Bubs. You know what? I had never seen Warren Moon. I hadn't seen footage of him. I didn't really know anything about him, so I loved looking into this. I thought it was brilliant. So thanks for bringing that to the table. Listeners, if you've got any subjects that you think we should cover or with a particular team, get in touch. All the details are on the pod. And we'll be back next week. But also like, subscribe, recommend,
pass
do all the things you can. And most of all, don't be a dick.
Be a buckus.
Cheers, Bubs. I'll see you next week.